no different. The commentator is Rob McLean.
This Celtic lineup shows two changes from the one which started the 1-1 draw here on Tuesday with FC Zurich. Defender Stefan Mahi is suspended, and his place goes to Rico Annoni, who's recovered from flu. Phil O'Donnell, far from a failure in the UEFA Cup tie, is dropped to make way for the return of Vidar Reset. It's a strange-looking Celtic defence without regulars Mark Reaper and Alan Stubbs. Reaper has had ankle surgery, Stubbs tore a groin muscle last Saturday. So alongside skipper Tom Boyd at the back are McNamara, Annoni and McKinley, who between them have started a total of just 13 games. Jackie McNamara was pressed into service in midweek because of Celtic's defensive problems. He returned at right back without even a practice match after missing 8 weeks of football. Aberdeen, like Celtic, make two changes to their team after last weekend's 2-2 draw with Dundee. Out go Ricky Gillis and Ilyan Kyriakov, both are on the bench. In come David Rowson, who was a sub last Saturday, and Russell Anderson, who's been injured. Here's Alec Miller's starting lineup, which includes 5 players aged 23 or under. Ian Jess, nearly 28 now, has shown flickers of the form which he'd like to produce on a more regular basis. Robbie Winters is still waiting for his first Aberdeen goal. The Aberdeen supporters will hope that Craig Hignett isn't about to up and off. The former Middlesbrough midfielder has domestic problems to sort out after making an impressive start to his new career in Scottish football. The referee for Celtic Aberdeen is Jim McCluskey. Celtic start the match. A lot of the talk around Celtic Park at the moment is about transfers as Celtic try to strengthen their squad. Lubomir Moravcik, the Slovakian, is en route to have a medical, complete his transfer. The signing of Marko Viduka from Croatia Zagreb is about to be completed as well, we hear, and Joseph Venglos will feel a lot happier at that point as he exchanges a pre-match, in fact an early match, handshake with Alec Miller. Now Jamie Buchan. Robbie Winters is up ahead of him. Good run from Buchan, forcing McNamara into the challenge. Tidied up by Simon Donnelly. Good positive play early on from Jamie Buchan, testing out McNamara. Smith. Missed by Young. He caught Larsson late. Advantage being played by Jim McCluskey. Now back. Reset sprinting up ahead of him. Infield is Burley. Now Lambert. The pass straight at Hignett. That's a foul on Ian Jess. Got himself away from Boyd and was caught late. Boyd, who is already facing up to European suspension after being sent off in midweek. And Jim McCluskey has also had words with Bannon Young about that late tackle on Henrik Larsson. Perry's free kick aimed at Winters. Off the top of Boyd's head. Ian Jess trying to flip that towards Rowson. Brought back, and Larsson combining well. Possibilities here. Henrik Larsson trying to keep himself onside. Back lost the ball. It was a real chance for Celtic on the counter-attack. Back will be disappointed he didn't get that final ball away. Burley under pressure from Rowson. Good play from McNamara. Tackled by Gary Smith, who breaks for Donnelly. Burley through for Brackback. Henrik Larsson is onside. And Celtic supporters claiming for a penalty kick, not given. Jim Leighton, the hero for Aberdeen. But the Celtic fans will take a bit more convincing that that was not a penalty kick. Jim McCluskey turned away the claims. Larsson was through, pushed the ball away from Leighton, but Jim Leighton got the ball first, and that's a good decision. This was good goalkeeping from Jim Leighton. An outstanding save when you look at this from Henrik Larsson. He got everything right. McNamara for Larsson. Beaten in that aerial duel by Mark Perry. Gary Smith's clearance. Hurley's header is a loose one. Buchan. Just prodded away from him by Simon Donnelly. Craig Burley teasing Darren Young. Now McNamara. Donnelly is up again, he stumbled. White's header, Craig Burley just wouldn't come down for him. Struck it on the half volley and it flew too high. That was a half chance. Some early verbal from the Aberdeen manager Alec Miller, who knows that his team is one game away from equalling the post-war Aberdeen record of 10 games without a win. It's a good pass for Craig Hignett. Thought about the shot, thought again, darted into the box, but watched all the way by Paul Lambert. That's superb play from the Scotland midfielder, who dealt with that so well. Larsson's header. Simon Donnelly got there before Rowson. Jamie Buchan. Knocked over the top. It's going to be 2-1, is it, for Ian Jess? No, he's kept it in. Robbie Winters is the only man in the middle for Aberdeen. Interception by Tom Boyd. Jonathan Gould getting everything sorted out in front of them. Aberdeen's first corner kick of the match. And the header from Craig Hignett is deflected wide. It's taken Aberdeen 11 minutes to find their way up to the other end of the pitch, but they nearly made this count. The Hignett header from close in, and it's a corner kick, another one. Here's David Rowson. Off target with the shot. Jackie McNamara made an important challenge there. Boyd for reset. Good quick control. Paul Lambert closed down by Young. There's Rico Annoni, only his third start of the season for Celtic. Simon Donnelly and Rick Larsson. Donnelly again, chance for the opening goal. Simon Donnelly, good finish. Great build-up, and Simon Donnelly knocks in his fourth goal of the season. That's where Donnelly is so effective. Played the 1-2 with Larsson, and what a cool finish that was. Off the outside of the right foot, lifted it over Leighton and into the top corner. So 12 and a half minutes of the match gone. Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0. Smith's long ball straight at Tom Boyd. Jess for Rowson. Didn't find the control there, kill the ball. Trying to make up for it now. But Tom Boyd is winning the tackles. Rowson gets that away from Lambert. Robbie Winters, surrounded by green and white hoops. Jess to Anderson. He's overrun that. And Paul Lambert almost inevitably with the tackle, which made things safe for Celtic. Tom Boyd knocks the ball out of play so that Vidar reset can get some treatments down at the touchline. A look of concern, naturally enough, on the face of Joseph Venglos, but he'll be happy with the way his team has started. And there's his new number 2, temporarily in the absence of Eric Black, a Celtic legend as a player, Danny McGrain. Hignett for Rowson. Missed by Annoni. Robbie Winters, saved by Jonathan Gould. Superb goalkeeping from Gould, as a Celtic defensive blunder looked like it had handed Aberdeen the chance to equalise. Well, here's a case of a reshuffled defence. Annoni and Lambert left it to each other, and that presented Robbie Winters with a great chance to make it 1-1. Rico Annoni will be relieved that Winters couldn't tuck the chance away, thanks to his goalkeeper for that as well. Good save by Jonathan Gould. Burley finding Reset. The header knocked down for Larsson. First time flick, here's Reset. Can he score his first Celtic goal? No, he can't. Offside. He claims he didn't hear the whistle going, didn't see the flag up. This was a good exchange between the Swede and the Norwegian, but by this stage, Reset couldn't have scored a goal in any case. He was offside when he got the ball back, and in any case, tugged the shot off target. Jess to Russell Anderson. Ignat's touch, asking a lot of David Rowson. Donnelly, Lambert, and a good interception by Derek White as Brattbakk threatened to race away. That was a good touch from Brattbakk to Lambert, and now Larsson. Harold Brattbakk could be the target again. Has to go wide. Gary Smith is with him. Brattbakk does well to force that back for McNamara. Solidly in David Rowson. Donnelly, Burley, and McNamara. Spotting Paul Lambert in some room. Here's Brattbakk, in for Larsson. Shot blocked by Mark Perry. The Jess layoff for Rowson. Hignett with Russell Anderson sprinting outside him. Gets it now from Jess. Darren Young. Anderson, past McKinley. Chased by Jamie Buchan. Did well to keep that in. And find David Rowson. Hignett. And the Aberdeen attack breaks down. Frustration written all over the face of Craig Hignett. Lambert to McNamara. A lot of targets up ahead for him. One of them was Simon Donnelly. Fouled by White. Derek White was quick to raise his hand and admit that he was at fault there. Burley over the free kick. Simon Donnelly twisting away from Jamie Buchan. Henrik Larsson keeping the ball well. Here's Brattbakk. It was well struck by Harold Brattbakk, and it took a deflection. Corner kick. Good lead-up work from Celtic. Very patient, very skillful play as well. And Brattback's shot, I think, came off White. Annoni up for the corner kick. That was Reset. Couldn't do much with it. Jess to Winters. And the ball taken away very comfortably there from Winters by Lambert. Boyd. Burley, Boyd, now McKinley. Having a long look at the penalty area, and then thinking again. Burley surveying the scene this time. He sees Jackie McNamara having made a good run on the far side, and sadly for McNamara, couldn't get his foot to it to control it. Otherwise that could have been a very damaging ball. Diagonal pass from Burley. Good vision here from the Scotland midfielder, seeing the run from McNamara and just a fraction away from being perfect. Now Craig Hignett. It was a short pass, lucky to pick up the shrapnel. Ian Jess sprinting ahead of him. Now Gary Smith. Through for Buchan and Jess and Young lining up the shot. Took too long, blocked by Lambert. And this is where Celtic are dangerous, breaking at pace. McKinley watched all the way by Larsson. Excellent control. Strong feature of his game. Lambert won it. Larsson to Burley. Sees McNamara. The 1-2 with Simon Donnelly. And a foul by Gary Smith. Didn't time the tackle. Jackie McNamara prodded the ball away from Smith. Taken quickly. Back to Burley. Now reset. Tosh McKinley. Too high with the shot. High concentration from the two managers, Alec Miller in the background and Joseph Venglos in front of him. Inside stoppage time. Buchan. Ground to a halt there. Anoni's tackle. Here's Simon Donnelly. Brought back close to him. Donnelly holding off Derek White. Cleared by Smith. Lambert to McNamara. That took a deflection on its way in. Out comes Jim Leighton. Good punch. That's loose though from Rowson. Hands it straight back to Burley. And finally a more convincing clearance from the skipper Derek White. A minute of stoppage time played. Jim McCluskey is looking at his watch. Indeed, that is half-time. And Celtic with a one-goal advantage at the interval, which really doesn't tell the story of their first-half superiority. This was the first chance that came Celtic's way. Henrik Larsson threw on Jim Leighton. Superb goalkeeping to avoid giving away a penalty kick. But Celtic did strike after 12.5 minutes. The 1-2 between Larsson and Donnelly, and that really was a top-class finish from Simon Donnelly, who's cropped up in all sorts of positions for Celtic and Scotland this season. That's his fourth goal so far. This was the only chance really for Aberdeen in the first half. A defensive blunder set up Robbie Winters, and he'll feel he should have done better, although credit here to Jonathan Gould for a shot that was, I suppose, straight at him. So most of the patrons in this sellout crowd happy at half-time, apart from the 1,000 visiting Aberdeen supporters. Half-time, it's Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0. Aberdeen get the match restarted. It's been a funny old season for them. They won their first 3 games and they haven't won in their last 9. But they did, of course, in the corresponding match against Celtic earlier on, win 3-2 at Pittodrie. I have the feeling Alec Miller will have had something to say to his team at half-time. Boyd in between Donnelly and McNamara. Here's Hignett. Now Smith. David Rowson through for Winters, trying to work it in the direction of Ian Jess. And a sliced clearance from Gould. Not one of his better efforts. But at least he connected this time. He missed it completely in midweek against FC Zurich, something he doesn't really want reminded about. Winters lining up the shot, good hit from Robbie Winters. Nobody there for the rebound for Aberdeen. Cleared by Burley. Well behind that, Jonathan Gould, but it was powerfully hit and he couldn't hold on to it. And that could have been dangerous had Aberdeen had anyone in on the rebound. McKinley down the line for Larsson. Out of play of Mark Perry. Here's Lambert. And Craig Burley. Rowson trying to shut him down. Missed by McNamara. Still needs some games, Jackie McNamara, to get back his match sharpness. That's for Buchan. Annoni trying to get back there. Confusion there between Annoni and Boyd. Jess quick with the throw for Winters. Bobby Winters, and out Jonathan Gould. Good presence of mind there from Jess to take that quickly. Larsson's flick. Smith, Young, and now Anderson. Terry. Jess wins it back well. Looked like he'd lost it. Here's Perry. And Hignett. In for Winters, and Rowson shot off Annoni. And cleared by Tosh McKinlay. And Rico Annoni looks as if he's in trouble. This was the shot from Rowson which came off Annoni, and that may be the end of the match for the Italian. He's off, and David Hanna is on immediately as the replacement. Long clearance from Jonathan Gould. Headed away by Mark Perry, now reset. Back onto the right foot. And off target with the shot. Good play though from Reset in terms of setting himself up for the shot at goal. He's very pacey, very tall. Looks ungainly at times, but he has got good control and good skills, which set himself up there. 20-year-old Darren Young. Hignett, quick change of pace. That's a good ball for Russell Anderson. Perfectly timed from Hignett. Excellent pace. And Ian Jess has lost it. Boyd breaking out of defence. Now resets. Brought back immediately in front of him. Here's Donnelly. Henrik Larsson making a run. That was casual play from Buchan. It's let Celtic back in. Simon Donnelly's cross, missed by both Brattbakk and Reset. It looked as if Brattbakk might well have got his head to that after Aberdeen had caused problems for themselves. Jimmy Buchan giving it away. David Hanna doing good defensive work for Celtic. Burley and McKinlay combining. It's Mark Perry racing onto it. Burley trying to work it onto the right foot. Here's Brattbakk having a look at goal. Arnold Brattbakk. Now Simon Donnelly. And off target with the shots. They were queuing up there to have shots at goal. First it looked as if it would be Burley, then Brattbakk, and finally it was Simon Donnelly. Not troubling Leighton. Perry flicked on by Jess for Jamie Buchan. Holding the ball up, waiting for Aberdeen to get more players forward. At the moment it's only Robbie Winters at the edge of the box, and Ian Jess in possession. And again, that's for Anderson. Perry coming up in support. Back for Jess. Good effort and a good save. Good handling from Jonathan Gould. I think Ian Jess eventually there ran out of patience. He was trying to prompt things for Aberdeen from the midfield area. Eventually saw there was no great assistance and had a crack himself. Clever play from Lambert. That came off Craig Hignett. Corner kick. So Celtic's first corner kick of the second half. That's the view from behind Tosh McKinley, looking into the Aberdeen area and making his presence felt. There was Tom Boyd, and very nearly deflected in. Simon Donnelly has his head in his hands, and this could have gone just about anywhere. McKinley's corner kick headed away by Derek White, and it just flew over the crossbar. McKinley on the other side this time. Jackie McNamara. Larson jumping against Jim Leighton. Well, he's not happy, is he? We're at the 70 minutes mark in the match. Henrik Larsson controls the long ball from David Hanna. Good support from Vidar Reset. Good save by Jim Leighton, but he won't keep out that one. It's Simon Donnelly's second. So sharp. And with 25 minutes of the second half gone, Celtic have a 2-0 lead. Delicate ball played in by Reset. Leighton did well to palm that away. But first to the rebound was Simon Donnelly. And the diving header into the empty net. Wasn't really too much Jim Leighton could have done here. All he could do was push away the cross from Reset, hoping that it wouldn't fall to a Celtic player. It did, and Simon Donnelly makes it 2-0. Aberdeen make a change. On comes 18-year-old Michael Hart in place of Darren Young. From McKinley, cleared by Smith. Derek White has slipped. Simon Donnelly might be thinking about a hat-trick. Not the power in the shot, though. Not a clean strike from him, and an easy stop for Leighton. Anderson left by Gillis. Tosh McKinley's up and under. Chased by Henrik Larsson. He gives up nothing. Still has it. It's great play from Larsson. Harold Brattbach. And it trundles through to Jim Leighton. Good defending by Gary Smith there against Brattbach. But that was all carved out by the skills and the tenacity of Larsson, who firstly won that challenge with Perry, then flicked the ball through the legs of Russell Anderson. And the angled pass set up Brattbach, but it came to naught. The left foot of Derek White. And Michael Hart wins a corner kick. And a fiddled hurry to take it as well. In from Jess Perry! What a chance that was for Mark Perry. His head, a couple of seconds ago, was in his hands because Aberdeen could have pulled the goal back there. And Perry will be so disappointed that he didn't make more of the Ian Jess cross. Frustration, more frustration for Alec Miller. A chance goes a-begging. Concerns in the dugout for Aberdeen, and also concerns in the director's box. These are not happy times for Chairman Stuart Mill. Celtic take off Vidar Reset, and a straight swap is Phil O'Donnell. Joseph Venglos will be a lot happier with the scoreline now. 1-0 is always fragile, 2-0 makes you feel a lot better. Here's Phil O'Donnell. The short ball for Larsson. The back heel for Jackie McNamara. Now Burley. Not one of his better ones. Liable to plant the ball in the back of the net from this sort of position. Took it first time, but couldn't keep it down. And that is full time. A very comfortable win for the home team against Aberdeen. And Celtic able to play well within themselves, really, and still come out with the 3 points, which reduces the margin at the top of the Premier League between themselves and Rangers to now 4 points, with Rangers not in action today. Simon Donnelly, the scorer of both the Celtic goals, one in each half, and Joseph Venglos will head into the home dressing room with something approaching a smile on his face. A job well done. At Celtic Park, final score, Celtic 2, Aberdeen 0.
Celtic have had a lot of defensive reshuffling to do with Reaper and Stubbs missing, but it's obviously good for you to have Jackie McNamara back on the right side.
It's nice. A couple of seasons ago we had a good combination on the right, and the two is like playing alongside each other, helping each other out. But I think the guys that came in and filled in for Big Reaps and Stubbs at the back did well as well.
How much of your game is goals? I mean, how much do you expect to score goals?
I don't think it's, I'm not an out-and-out goal scorer, but I think I can add my fair share over the season. I think I managed to get 16 last season, which was my best tally. So I think I'll look upon myself as more creating goals as well, but I can take my fair share as well.
Team-wise, that was a very commanding performance today.
Yeah, I think we won in the end quite comfortable. It's always at 1-0. You're wondering if they can come back, sneak a goal. But when we got the second goal, that kind of killed the game off.
And you obviously want to get closer to Rangers to put a bit of pressure on.
That's right, it's still early stages. We've closed the gap. Obviously, they've got the game midweek. But as I say, it's nice to get back to the winning ways. We've been slipping up and letting teams take points off us in the last few weeks, so it's nice to get a win.
Alec, you don't need me to tell you, that's 10 games without a win for Aberdeen.
Yes, it is, but during the course of the game we've played some good football. We'd have liked to have had more of a cutting edge, which we didn't have, but we made some good chances. And if you analyse the game, Celtic didn't have a lot of chances. My goalkeeper's only saved to make was in the second goal went in.
So you see encouraging things in that?
Well, I definitely see encouraging signs today that we played football with some good passes, some good performances from players. As I said, we don't have the cutting edge and we don't also have the quality that Celtic have, especially when you're playing against the likes of Larsson, who's an excellent player, and his movement is conducive to making chances. But over the piece, Celtic have more possession of the ball, but they didn't have a lot of chances.
Are you disappointed that Robbie Winters hasn't broken his duck yet with Aberdeen?
Well, I think I'm disappointed for Robbie because he's working hard and he's trying to break his duck. He had an excellent chance today and unfortunately Jonathan saved it with his feet. At that point, Celtic had just scored. When you look at the situation, the ball gets played up and I felt we tried to play football at that time. We should have maybe played it away further up the field. Get caught with Celtic, they then drove at us and played a 1-2 and it got in behind us and that was a goal.
Yeah, I think that team played well. You know, it was intelligent performance. They have been dictate tempo of the game, shape of the game, and I think players, they work for each other quite well, and I think combinations, they have been running smoothly, and of course when we score a goal after, always team is playing better, but from my point of view it's very important that players have been enjoying to play after that difficult Tuesday game, but they show qualities, they show spirit, and I think results, it's okay.